welcome into Beers by Ivy. Beers by the Ivy, presented by Joey Scott Media. I'm Joey Scott, and this is my sports podcast. Please like, follow, and subscribe. We're just getting going here, but it's cool to see the viewership already, so excited for that. We're talking Pacers Knicks today. Pacers fall to the Knicks 117 to 121. I grew up in Indianapolis, so I'm a Pacers fan. I want to talk about competitiveness today. I want to talk about the game itself and what I think it takes to essentially beat the Knicks. Geez, they're a tough team. They have that old school. And I kind of think the whole series is a throwback to like the 90s where you kind of had like Reggie Miller and the boys a little bit more skilled. And then you had, Starks and the Knick boys essentially a little bit tougher, and then the Pacers back in the day. And I kind of think that's what it is today. It's the Pacers have a little bit more skill and the Knicks just look tougher and play harder. So let's kind of go over the box score, and then I'm going to jump kind of further into the game and further into the series. But like I said, Pacers 117, Knicks 121. Siakam had 19 points. Turner had 23 points. Halliburton only had 6 points, but had 8 assists, which maybe isn't that high either. McConnell, 18 points off the bench. I thought he played a great game. I made a short that pretty much said at halftime, do not pull him out of the game. I just thought his IQ plays were helping the Pacers so much, and then our coach pulled him out of the game, and I don't know, I'm no basketball savant, but I think when you're playing a really competitive team in a competitive environment, like IQ plays trumps talent, left, right, and sideways. Let's talk about the Knicks though. Brunson, 43 points. That guy. He scores just automatically fade away from the free throw line. It's just automatic buckets. It's just utterly incredible performance. His toughness and his demeanor is such a winner demeanor and toughness that it's hard to not root for the guy. Even as a Pacers fan, I'm like, man, that guy's got stones. That's a winner. That's something the NBA hasn't had in a long time. Okay, Hart for the Knicks. This is the guy. This is there's a old hockey Detroit Red Wings in the early 90s and early 2000s. There's a guy named Darren McCarty. He was your classic Gordie Howe hat trick guy. Win a fight, get an assist, score a goal, and just come up in big moments for your team. Just do all the dirty work. That's Josh Hart. 24 points. Talent cannot win alone. Though he has talent, his heart, no pun intended, is quite impressive. DiVincenzo, sorry I butchered your name, but holy cow. There's a few shots where the Pacers dared him to shoot, and they just 3 in a row, dagger 3-pointers that essentially led to the Knicks winning. Pacers shot 52%, Knicks shot 53%. I think what I loved about the game just in general was just how pure basketball competitiveness it was. And I think I haven't seen that in a long time. Not that I watch every game of basketball in the college or pros, but there's just very few games that have the vibe of every dribble matters. Every single thing matters. It will purely lead to an outcome, win or lose. And that's what this game had. It had, the Pacers, getting their ass kicked early, coming back, leading late. It had a 3-point line, or had a chuck at the end of half. They went in for a 3-pointer from the Knicks. I think it was their center. It had the Pacers leading in the third quarter. It had the Knicks coming back and essentially ultimate winning in the fourth quarter. I made a short about this, but to win against the Knicks, you got to be tougher than the Knicks. To win at the Garden, you got to be tougher than the Garden. And the question is for me is, can the Pacers, this young core of players, look the fans and the Knicks players right in the eye and not blink? Do you love the moment more than you have the fear? If the Pacers can do that, I think they can win game 2. I think the Pacers definitely have a better roster, a deeper roster, right? Look at the bench points. I'm pretty sure we tripled Knicks bench points. But the thing about the Knicks is these guys are gamers, and gamers win. I know this firsthand. I grew up on a few teams that we all were gamers. We never lost. It's about how to win. So, I still think I would love to see a game 7 at the Garden, and I think it can get there. But the Pacers, man, we got to be a little bit tougher. We can't let Josh Hart miss a free throw and then get his own rebound. We can't just, you can't be so lazy on the glass. I'm pretty sure Hart got a rebound over 3 Pacers. You just cannot afford that, you know? One thing I will say about, and I know I'm talking so much Pacers, but guys, I'm a Pacers fan. What do you want me to do here? Okay. One thing I thought was impressive was, and this was both teams, quite frankly, but the ability to score with touch. I mean, Miles Turner had a few of these, like, grab the ball, shoot it immediately, just like amazing shots. Siakam, same thing. Quick fadeaway, bucket, good. And Brunson had like many of those. But geez, I mean, what a spectacle of basketball. That was kind of like my first takeaway. My second takeaway, Pacers need to get tougher. And my third takeaway is I hope this is a long series because it feels like kind of the 90s again. And I cannot wait for it. As a Pacers fan, honestly, beating the Knicks is just one of the greatest things. Like, there's just nothing better. I think when beating the Knicks in the playoffs and winning the championship, I mean, those are like, I would say almost those are tied just because like how freaking intense beating the Knicks is. Because essentially all the New York folks just oversee the Pacers, but behind the scenes they're like nervous about them. So, it's a classic rivalry, big brother type situation here. But yeah, let's talk about Halliburton. I don't know enough about basketball, quite frankly, to tell you that if he needs to score more or do more things. There's times in the game where he's like essentially invisible, though he runs the offense. He's not scoring like Brunson. But does that matter? Can the Pacers win a formula where he only scores 6 points with 8 assists? Does it really need to be more like 15 points, 12 assists? I don't know, but that's something to also keep an eye on. I think that he had an okay game. Once again, I'm no basketball savant, but I would like to see him maybe get a little bit more in the action. But, I mean, his counterpart, Turner, that guy played incredible. And he was really labeled as a soft player. I remember some local radio guys were just ripping him for years. I mean, he just really stepped up and become an increased talent, increased toughness, but also his ability to lead in the court was rather impressive. So, man, after watching game 1, I think the Knicks could win the series, but I also think the Pacers can win the series. Like, it's gonna be a complete story arc of two teams competing, and I think that's what's great. I think some of these other series in the NBA, you almost know who's gonna win. I think everybody, Pacers or Knicks, Indiana or New York, is sitting there going, I might have to get tickets because this is going to be an epic competitive series. And I think as sports fans, that's exactly what we want. All right, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Please like and subscribe. Once again, we're just getting going, but we're getting it all out. I mainly am doing shorts right now on all the different social medias, but we're also trying to do longer form content too. But yeah, thanks for all the support, and we'll keep it going.